Hello, my beautiful people. Welcome to this episode of the Secrets of a Witch podcast with me, Sabrina Scott, where I talk all about life, love, healing, magic, witchcraft, tarot, spirituality, and everything in between. Thank you so much for listening. If you've been enjoying this show, please make my day by giving a 5-star rating and leaving a little review. It would mean the absolute world to me. I know it sounds kind of silly, but it's like so amazing to receive your reviews. Honestly, it just makes me feel so good. So thank you, thank you, thank you. So welcome to the spring. I'm so fucking stoked about this moment, the energy of the now. Hopefully y'all listened to the last episode about the spring equinox and just everything that this moment is, because the vibes are shifting, my friends. And the equinox vibe is all about, I'm just gonna riff. And so let's see where this goes. The equinox is about birth, rebirth, love, sex, vibrancy, vitality, creativity, that spark, that fiery life force spark that is deep in our guts, in our stomach, and our belly, that lower abdomen area where everything is birthed, right? Our sacral chakra, our sex center. It's above the root chakra, which is all about groundedness, basic needs, money, physical stability. But once all of that is dealt with, which is our lovely red chakra, we're moving into this space of sex, of creativity, of that spark, of having that freedom to play, being stable enough to allow for some fluidity and some play, some experimentation. Because sex is experimental at its best, in my opinion. Creativity often has this kind of like sexual alchemy spark behind it. It's like the meeting of two polarities in this beautiful dance at the same time. This ebb and flow of different energies that results in creation. If you've ever tried to create something out of like two boring same things, you'll know that it doesn't tend to go well. Like you can do it, but you're kind of bored, or you're not thinking it's your best work. You know, like we've all been there. I've fucking been there. You know? Even though I've been a lifelong artist and always been sexually liberated, like I've never felt shame around sex, really. Like it's never really been my thing. Like I've always felt like I've had this creative flow and creative outlet. Even for me, it's possible to get disconnected from that sometimes, or to be able to be creative, but it feels kind of blah. You know, it feels rather than dialed up to 11, dialed up to 12, dialed up to 15, 16 out of 10, and connected to this raw, zesty, powerful, vital spark where life doesn't just feel good, it feels fucking phenomenal. And that is the wave that I personally want to be riding most of the time. And I know it takes so much intention to be able to always be there. And you know what? Like looking at my aura photos, which I go every few months over the past few years, they're all on a cork board facing my bed. So I'm looking at my transformation every day. Highly recommended. I can see that the last few years I was really unlocking that yellow solar plexus, which is all about will, worthiness, confidence, stepping into who you really are. And so that was the first time I ever unleashed that. That was in fall of 2021. That's the first time I ever saw the yellow solar plexus activated on an aura photo. And I had that for 2 years pretty steady, I guess a year and a half technically, since we're not in summer yet for 2023. But I intentionally have been working with reactivating that sacral, beautiful, sexy, creative, playful chakra, which comes off as orange. And, even though I did publish a new book last year, so my second book, Curse and Cure, Magic for Real Life, which is available on Amazon, I self-published it last year after divorcing my Big Five publisher, and that is a whole story for another day. It's a publisher you've heard of, so, it's a big move for me. Even though I wrote that whole fucking book and published it and have been doing all these things, I haven't felt creatively connected to that spark. It more felt like this obligation to creativity, this obligation to write, this obligation to paint. And that's not how I want to relate to the act of creating. I don't want it to feel like work. I want it to feel ecstatic. I want it to feel zesty. I want it to feel in the flow. I want to feel like I'm challenging myself and moving through obstacles, and I want to feel enlivened by the whole process. And so I wasn't feeling like that. And so I knew that I could. And so I've intentionally, the past few weeks, and maybe over the past month or so, here and there, been cultivating this reconnection with the sacral, with this ecstatic, orgasmic bursts of creativity and joy, and really playing with the idea of play, trying it on for size. And I've been doing a lot of inner child healing work over the past while. Y'all don't know this about me. I have literally never shared this anywhere publicly, but I collect Beanie Boos. If you don't know what that is, it is like the TY Beanie Babies of the now with the giant eyeballs that's available at the drugstore. And whenever I see one that is too cute, I just can't handle it and I take it home. And I pay for it, obviously. I don't steal it, just in case you were wondering. But this has been a very intentional reclamation of my inner child and allowing my inner child out to play. So if you guys know my story, and I won't get into it here, but I didn't really have a good childhood. I never really had that luxury of being able to feel completely comfortable and innocent and joyful and play and just bask in that innocence of childhood. I never got to do that. I grew up way too soon. Anyway, I don't want to get too dark and heavy, but I've intentionally been letting some of that childlike joy and play back into my life, and getting those Beanie Boos when I see them is one way I've been doing that. I also, oh my God, this one is kind of crazy. So when I was a kid, I had some American Girl dolls, and for some reason, all these years, I never gifted them or rehomed them or threw them out or donated them somewhere. I kept them in a box all these years, and so it's been 20 years now. 23 years. And I opened the box, and recently, this was back in the fall, and I noticed all their hair was fucked up. They were all naked. They had no clothes, no idea where their clothes went. And this is going to sound crazy, but I don't actually personally own a hairbrush. I just run my fingers through my hair and I let my hair air dry. That's my thing. I don't like how my hair looks when I brush it. It looks pin straight. It doesn't look lively at all. And so what I did intentionally to start healing this inner child and honoring that past child that I was that never really got to be honored was I bought a fucking doll hairbrush and I brushed all their hair, and I went to the American Girl doll website and I picked out new outfits for these dolls. And I dressed them, and now they look all cute. And I've got them out of the box, and now they're sitting on a shelf. And it kind of feels, maybe someone's going to judge me if they come in. I'm like a 33-year-old woman with some dolls on the shelf. I know everyone thinks dolls are creepy, but you know what? It felt so good to stop neglecting these childhood things. These dolls, these little stuffed animals, and I also collect owl stuffed animals. And so I got a shelf to display all my Beanie Boos and my owl stuffed animals and my little pink stuffed animals. I also collect pink stuffed animals like flamingos and, other pink creatures. I love pink. And you know what? At first I was judging myself. I was like, I'm a 33-year-old woman. At the time, I guess I was 32-year-old woman, buying a shelf for my cute stuffed animals and displaying my dolls from childhood. What is going on? Everyone's going to think I'm crazy. But you know what? I realized I need to heal this part of myself, and I need to give that little girl some time and space in this home, literally, to shine, to just be, to have those tokens that were hers out and about, so that they can be honored, that childhood part of myself can be honored, and then everything can integrate. And so the reason I'm talking about all of this is because I do think that all of that work that lead up to the now of doing that internal alchemy, healing that inner child, allowing and making space for these things from childhood, probably the most painful time of my childhood, and let them out, not putting them in this box neglected with their hair all tangled, naked with no outfits. What a way to treat your inner child in a way, right? Not great. And that showed that I was neglecting so much of this little girl and that was inside me for so long. And so by doing this practice, this inner child work, I slowly started to become more and more okay with this idea of play. Being okay with experimentation, being okay with giggling again, laughing, being okay with these random bursts of joy, and reconnecting to that creative, playful life force. Because the crux of creativity, I think, in some ways, is the ability to play. And of course, I was an artist, a good artist at that, back when I was traumatized as fuck and didn't really know how to play outside of art making. But within that art making process, I was able to tap into that. And so through this inner child work, it's been so beautiful to expand that into pretty much all other areas of my life, slowly. And so it was so amazing to see on my newest aura photo this bright fucking orange everywhere. Radiant, sacral energy, playful, creative. Because when we are actually riding that creative sacral life force into play, into art making, into creativity, into inspiration, creation of any sort, it's a very different energy, a very different vibe, a very different approach to life than when we are just, creating just because out of a sense of obligation, out of a deadline, out of, we're doing this project that at first we were so excited about, but we kind of lost connection to our purpose. Why am I even doing this again? I forgot, but I guess I'll just keep doing it, even though I'm not excited about it. So many of us get into that, and to be honest, even I've gotten into that very recently in the past. And so it's by intentionally connecting with this sacral energy that we can move from obligation creation to joyful creation, intentional creation. And it was so cool because when I sat down at the aura photo situation and put my hands on the sensors to measure my electromagnetic whatever aura vibes, I was hoping, praying that I have activated the orange sacral chakra, and it happened. And that just goes to show the power of visualization, the power of intention, the power of moving into these energies on purpose and really realigning ourselves to these energies. It can be done. I literally did it on purpose and was able to manifest that. You can do this too, even if you don't have an aura photographer in your city. You can still decide what chakra, what energy, What themes do I want to play with in my life right now? How do I want to feel? In which direction do I want to expand? Where am I weak right now? And what do I need to be stronger? What do I need to grow? What is my next stage and phase of growth? And we go through all these chakras like on repeat. It's never ending growth process. As soon as I think I'm healed, it's like, oh yeah, there's some other thing underneath that other rock. And even though I am very, very healed, I would say more so than a lot of people, there is still more work to be done always. And I don't think it takes away from the progress I've made so far to say, you know, there's still more to do. There's always more to do. And how beautiful is that? What an amazing opportunity. So cool. And so this sacral energy for me is so of the now. Like, I've got a lot going on in my life, creatively, professionally, personally, etc. Trauma healing wise, I'm not going to get into in this episode, but for me, the sacral, orange, sexy, playful, joyful, childlike creation, birthing process is so of this moment. And if you're an astrology nerd, you might know more about astrology than me, but this is very much 5th house of astrology vibes. You know, sex, art, children, play. That's why all of this is kind of together at once. You might be like, what does children have to do with sex? But it's like, okay, well, what happens if you're not using protection and you have sex, you have children? And so maybe you don't want children like me. I don't personally, but we can still tap into that symbolism creatively and think about birthing creative projects, birthing a beautiful, sexy, fun, vibrant, passionate life, birthing a amazing new art project that you're so stoked on, birthing a beautiful business, manifesting and blooming a stunning new relationship. You know, there's so much that we can birth and create if we tap into this amazing life force of our sacral chakra. Orange, second from the bottom. It's physical, it's embodied, right? It's beautiful. So tap into that, my friends, if you feel so called. It is so beautiful. It's so enriching. It's so expansive. It feels free to dance with this chakra. It's a great vibe for spring. It really is. So we'll leave you with that, my friends. If you want to learn more about energy work and specifically visualizing energy work, and aura photography is a way of visualizing energy work. But one other way is drawing with colored pencils, markers, paints, whatever you want to do. And I walk you through this process step by step in my visualizing energy work masterclass workshop situation, which is on my website. It's under courses. It should be under the magic section. And it is available there for you to purchase, to view on demand whenever the hell you want. You get it forever. I've had such good feedback from that workshop, and it does walk you through the exact processes that I use to shift my own fucking energy. To shift my energy from low to high, to shift which chakra I am manifesting in my life in terms of my vibe and what lessons I'm moving through, which chakra I am intentionally activating and unlocking and unleashing. These are the techniques that I use every fucking day to do that shit. And the proof is in the pudding. Like, you can literally see it in my aura photos as the years have gone on. Yes, it is amazing, juicy. You will absolutely love it. And it will be skills that will be with you for a fucking lifetime, my friend. Any questions about that, you can email me, ceo@sabrinamscott.com. Of course, you can grab the masterclass at sabrinamscott.com. I've also got a few bundles on right now. If you would like to hear more about that, just email me again at ceo@sabrinamscott.com, and I'll give you all those details for the groupings of different masterclasses for significant savings. So if you're eyeing more than one program, these bundles are definitely for you. All right, my beautiful folks, I'll see you on the next episode. As always, thank you so much for listening. Happy manifesting, happy magicking, and happy fucking spring equinox. Mwah. Bye.